We're talking about more Spider-Man 2 drama, so let's roll that goddamn intro! David Jaffe is a guy that's definitely seen some action since basically becoming a YouTuber full-time, using his experience in the gaming industry to pump out bangers such as this.
So he says, go back up in that room and shoot the ceiling. What? Why? Why? There's no indication on the map, there's no indication visually.
As you can see, he knows good game design when he sees it. He recently spoke about Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and had this to say about it.
So the trailer was great, but the trailer shows that Sony is kind of stuck in the gear they've been in for a long time. If you remember the Uncharted 4 trailer with Nathan Drake dragging behind the convoy and everybody lost their minds, rightly so. It seems, with the exception of, a game here and there like a Returnal or an MLB, this bread and butter formula is getting stale. And maybe it's because we have had a year of such top tier game design superstars. If you look at Tears of the Kingdom, if you look at Baldur's Gate 3, and yes, if you look at Starfield.
I'm gonna have to immediately cut you off when you're talking about Tears of the Kingdom being remotely innovative when that was exactly the same game as the first, but with an additional 2 new very reused asset-y type areas, with one singular new feature being the building stuff, right? Like it's bloody Fortnite. It's not innovative because it's a sequel to a game that didn't need much to build on. Remember that I said that when we dissect this video a little bit more. Baldur's Gate 3 he's spot on for, but calling Starfield innovative is a little cuckoo crazy for me, fellas. I don't know. Fallout in Space has been done before, but with games such as The Outer Worlds and No Man's Sky and stuff like that. Just obviously not on this big of a scale, but the ideas have definitely been around before, so I'm not really getting these examples.
If this was a movie, we'd be losing our shit, because as somebody watching this scene, you're like, holy cow, that's a cool idea, that's awesome. It's like, shit, that's a neat concept. And I don't know how your brain works, but when I'm playing these sequences, I don't have the mental bandwidth to really appreciate it in the way that I am when I'm watching the sequences. So when I'm playing it at an abstract level, I'm just like, push the stick left. It's like Crazy Climber, right? Push left, dodge the thing falling, push right, dodge the thing falling. When there's an opening, do my attack. Up, spider sense, push down, then left, there's a thing falling. This game is amazing at a presentation level, but at a gameplay level, we've done it. And it seems like so much of Sony's bread and butter formula is about presenting the game as this amazing movie.
I see a lot of criticisms that Sony's games are being presented as movies, and to a degree I can say that's true to an extent, but also completely false. Now let me explain what that means. The storytelling takes up a huge portion of the importance these days because people's attention span on games is getting shorter and shorter. They need things to keep them invested, otherwise they'll just blow some stuff up and move on swiftly. You see it with COD every single year when it releases. People say it's fire, but then they want the next one because COD is just pew pew some fools and maybe get Shrek'd yourself online, so storytelling does indeed go up front, and I don't think that's at all a bad thing. I think you're forgetting that The Last of Us 2 may have had a deep narrative, some obviously hated it, I've not played it myself, but as a gameplay experience it was ridiculously detailed and sensational really. Like even a non-PS exclusive, right, because I don't want people calling me a Sony pony, like Red Dead 2 had a brilliant story and cinematic features such as a bloody different camera for your horse, but as a game was also incredibly fun to play and immersive in the experience, right? Look at Spider-Man 2, right? Spider-Man 2 plays like Spider-Man, has a Spider-Man-esque story, and in this clip alone, I'm dodging debris whilst attached to the fucking lizard going up a skyscraper. Like, yes, of course I want that, because it's a Spider-Man game, and I'm balls deep in the immersion. I'm not getting this video.
Well, what about Nintendo? You're not bagging on the new Mario. It's like, oh, it's the same game over and over and over and over and over, but it's not. The difference is the genre is the same. The core mechanics are the same of like, oh, you run to the right, try to get to the end of the level, jump on the flag, blah, blah, blah. But the stuff that they're showing that you get to do is fresh. It's fun. It's interesting.
So Jaffe doesn't mind a game having a template, but just wants to see new additions to the game to make it okay, right? web wings, loop-de-loops, skating on water, new animations, new villains, new story, new areas to explore in New York, new side content, new powers and combat mechanics to use, a huge upgrade from the original game. What are you talking about? Brother was on to nothing. I actually can't be arsed. I was gonna do more, but like, this is, nah, I'm done.